Hi, I'm Josiah,
And I'm Trevor.
and welcome to A Little Off the Top.
Welcome to episode 4 of A Little Off the Top. This week's guest is Derek Skopp. He's the vice president of Benchmark Wood and Design Studios. They make high-end cabinetry for discerning customers. Welcome, Derek.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your business?
We've been in operation about 16, 17 years now. We employ about 25 people in our manufacturing facility on the north side of Holland. Not only do we do the cabinetry and millwork design building, we also do architecture and interior design as well. So throughout our umbrella of companies, we can basically provide home plans, remodel plans, design services, and then the fabrication of the woodwork itself. So cabinetry, doors, entry systems, brackets, corbels, you name it. We basically, do the design itself all the way through building, all our own parts, and then we also do our own finishing as well. So we are a true turnkey design build firm when it comes to, basically the woodworking and home side of things, residential and commercial applications. We kind of do
Basically, whatever the customer wants, you can do it. And you
Basically.
do it at a high level.
And you guys aren't just a big machine pumping out parts. You've got actual guys working with their hands
Correct.
making custom pieces, correct?
Yeah, we're fairly up to the times with technology and equipment. Obviously, a lot of manufacturing is automated now, so we still, have CNC machines, kind of robotic arm type things, but we still are very much hand involved. All our craftsmen have been with us. At least our senior craftsmen, a lot of them have been with us almost since day one, going on 15, 16 years. A lot of past guys from the boat building industry in the area, furniture guys. So, the mix of talent we have, really remarkable. A lot of young people coming in. A lot of our older craftsmen have done and seen a lot of stuff when it comes to woodworking. But, just the product that we offer, unlike some cabinet shops where they've got a line or two of cabinets they provide and, maybe they outsource a third or fourth from Canada or China or something like that. I mean, we are literally taking hardwood and milling it down to what we need. We cut our own parts, all our own drawers, doors, drawer boxes, doors, things of that nature. We do it all in-house, though, so our quality control, just the hands-on, and then, of course, the finished product is much more controllable, and we can give our clients exactly what they're looking for.
Awesome.
But what made you really kind of decide to do architecture and stuff like that and make that was something that you wanted to run after?
Yeah, so obviously growing up in a family business, as young as I can remember, I'd been on job sites. I mean, I was probably pushing brooms, sweeping nails and, construction glue off of subfloors from the time I was 5, 6 years old, cleaning up jobs, picking up trash, nails, all that kind of good stuff. High school time frame, I took a vocational school at the Career Line Tech Center here in town. Did building trades for a couple years, worked on framing crews, excavating, trim, you name it. Worked a lot of the jobs we have, and then went off to college. Wasn't quite sure what I was going to do for the first 2 years of schooling. Got a lot of gen eds in and things like that, and then basically one day I had an opportunity to visit an architecture school with a professional colleague of ours at the time, and went down there, got introduced to Andrews University down in Berrien Springs. They had a really solid architecture program that really clicked with me as far as what they do and how they present architecture. Not so much, big civic buildings of, get your name on a building to be cool, but really livable to what people like. I mean, you can go to towns and see terrible design. You can go to nice downtowns like we have here in Grand Haven and Holland.
To the eye.
Exactly. Places people want to be. So that was kind of, I liked that. I like being part of designing and helping now build things that are pleasant to experience. Not only do they look cool, but when you're actually in the spaces and touching, feeling things, it's, people like it. So did my schooling, went through 6 years of college, grad school, got my master's in architecture degree. Instead of going to a firm and focusing just on architecture, I got plugged into our companies in a design realm. So I probably for 2.5, 3 years actually worked, in our CAD department with, our architectural designers, our interior designers, drawing house plans, or renovation plans, deck remodels, and front entry details, just random jobs that would come up, got plugged in on a few residences that we decided to build, and I got to, use some architectural creativity on that end. And then about 3 years ago now, so I've been with Benchmark Wood and Design Studio for about, it'll be 8 years in April. Wow. So about 3 years ago, got plugged in there, and so I kind of shifted from a design role into a operations and management type role.
Take us through that movement of gaining your own respect. How do you show to a pre-existing team that's already there, hey, I know I'm the son of this guy that started this, but I'm going to show you that I'm worth being your leader.
Going into it, I could have said, I've got a lot of goals. I'd like to see the company grow. I'd like the employees to be happy and our clients to be happy. Well, goals are great, but until you make an objective, which is goals with a plan, if you don't have the plan, you're not going to do it. So, the first couple,
a great wish.
The first several months, it was a lot of sit downs, heart to hearts with the company owners, myself, my dad, my brother, and our management team that's been around, and just really laying out the path forward, because we had a lot of big fundamental shifts from how we used to do things to how we're doing it now as well. Really trying to get away from the reactive addressing of things to more proactive. So a lot of our planning involved how we schedule things, looking out in the future, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 months into the future, seeing projects coming up, making sure that all the details are there, putting the team together before building things that we know all the details are right. If you fail to plan, you're going to basically fail every time. So
I love that.
Plan to fail.
So, that was kind of how I looked at it. Obviously coming in at, at the time when I transitioned, like 28, 29 years old, it's like, oh yeah, just
a kid,
Just the kid, because his dad's the owner, that kind of thing. So, it was basically just saying, look, I don't see myself better than you guys. I'm part of this team.
Sure.
This is the vision that I can convey directly because I know the owner's vision. So, basically how I saw it is I get to be my dad's right hand to carry out his vision and alleviate his workload because, starting off, we were doing, maybe half a dozen houses a year, not really doing much on remodels unless it was homes we built. And now I think, just this last week we had a company Christmas party talking about our projects. And this year we were at like 17 new builds that we had, 60 remodels. And then our other division, our wine cellar division, did like 24, which was up like 40% from last year or something. So just the volume of work.
It just goes to show if you don't plan ahead, you won't be. You only go as far as you. You are. So you have to make sure that you plan, and that's just proof in the pudding that you guys have those goals. Yet you have a telescope. You're looking out far ahead, but you're looking right now and here, and so I think that's pretty cool.
Yep. Another really cool thing that you said was. Your employees know that you know the business because, like you said at the beginning, you've been there for your whole life since you were a little kid. You've done the dirty work. You've done, you've kind of stepped your way up through the company doing the different jobs. So now you can kind of look at it from the top saying, hey, I get how this works, so let's streamline this and do it the best we can do it.
The other thing I want to kind of go back on is so from the sounds of it, you have a really good work ethic. I know you do because I know you. But you can see it come out of what just how you're passionate of what you're passionate about what you're doing. Not just you're not just passionate about, oh, that's a really nice piece of walnut. You're passionate about the quality that goes into making quality furniture, quality craftsmanship. where did you get that from? So obviously it comes from your dad, but when did you start realizing, hey, when did you start developing that hard work ethic?
Oh, man. So this is one thing my dad was very proud of, is the fact that both my brother and I worked with our grandfather who passed away this past year. Yeah. We all started working with him prior to working for Dad. So I did 4 summer and falls worth of time with him, caretaking and landscaping. I mean, I've shoveled more yards of bark than I care to remember, cleaned up more dead fish on beaches than, Florida did this past time with the red tide. Yeah. So, really the work ethic started there because, it was, every morning, 7 o'clock, meet with Grandpa, drive down to Fenville, get working, work till 4:30, 5 o'clock, drive back. Working at a house that, was probably one of the larger properties we had built many years ago. But, when we built it, sprinkling systems weren't a thing. So I would literally hand water 3 hours a day. So just the physical and mental buildup of work ethic definitely happened there, knowing that, my grandpa at 70 years old or however old he was at the time, I can't get outworked by him.
Right.
So, obviously making him proud and making my dad proud at the same time and all that kind of stuff. And just, knowing that we're called to do everything we can to the best of our ability. Absolutely. And so that was instilled in me, probably 13, 14, 15 years old.
Bark is a terrible job. No matter what, you never find the end. You can always move it a little bit more.
There's always more.
If you guys are ever to go into Benchmark Wood Studios, it is the cleanest wood shop you'll ever see.
It's true.
It's unreal how clean it is.
It's immaculate. It's beautiful.
So it's really neat to see.
Everything is thought out.
It's bright and clean. So not only to just see, hey, these guys do really quality work, but their workspace, they keep their workspace immaculate. It's gorgeous. So, talk a little bit about that as far as if you're going to put out beautiful quality pieces, you have to have the space to do it and keep that space nice. What's the importance of that?
Well, that really transfers down to, the mindset all of our employees have as well. Take care of the spaces and things they have so that they can in turn do the best job they can. The craftsmanship they show, the spaces that they have to create, and I call it spaces because they're not just, putting boxes together, putting fronts on a thing and sending it out the way. They're literally creating the environments that people will use day in and day out, some for the rest of their lives.
Sure.
So they take very much, very serious on the care they put into the, not only their spaces because, hey, if you can't find a impact driver when you got to fasten a truss together or something. Yeah. So keeping things clean, clutter-free, in order, that's a huge thing. And obviously, our facilities are also a showroom of what's happening.
Absolutely.
So, it's probably 3 times a week we walk prospective clients through our facility so they can see hands-on what's happening. A lot of the industry now is, basically you can order a cabinet kit from Europe and it'll show up. You don't see anything of it. You just know it shows up and, looks cool at the end. We like people to see exactly where it's coming from, the jobs it's creating,
I can imagine that you guys sell more because of that. I want to go back because you said all of our employees have that mindset of they own it. Mm-hmm. How do you get them? I think that's something that most business owners have a hard time finding quality employees. But how do you do they come in that way, or are you guys teaching them and getting them into that position where they create that culture and they're like, I want to be a part of that. Yeah. So that ideology it's there. Yeah. High quality.
Yeah, that's exactly what we look for. We look for hard workers that have an open and receptive mind that can just absorb what we're teaching them, and then we can equip them to do it. If someone has a good work ethic and they're open to learning, we can turn them into the greatest craftsmen ever. Sure. We just this past couple of weeks hired a couple guys right out of Tech Center High School. They graduate, I'm pretty sure, in May, and they're going to start right on our crews with them. But they're, now through Christmas break and times, they're getting trained up so that they're equipped, ready to go. So as long as, our workers are, hardworking, they're eager to listen and learn, just the general positive attitude, because, there's a lot of times, accidents happen in manufacturing. We make mistakes. We draw something wrong and it gets built wrong. Okay, we own that. We recognize the problem. We go and fix what happened so we don't have to don't have to deal with it again, but just learning from those experiences, so people don't take it so personal. Sure. And if something bad happens, but they also take the pride in when it's happening, when they're doing it right, when they get the end result that not only they're looking for, but the client's looking for. That's the attitude we cultivate, and then we just plain take care of our employees and encourage that attitude as best we can.
I know I've been around the company a lot as far as on the grounds and things like that, and there's this strange culture of everybody wants to do their best for the company, and it's really interesting that people are willing to give their life and trust to you guys. And I know people don't take that lightly, and it doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't come out of nowhere. So you guys have done an incredible job of building a culture of quality.
I want to build on that because I think it's so important, because a lot of times as we go and we work in places and sometimes I've worked in a shop like that before, but the problem was it wasn't the culture. The culture, the quality, and everything, like it wasn't like that at all. And so it's interesting. You can go into the same field and go and work for someone, but it's the fact is that Mike Scott Builders benchmark is different, and that's why they are on top.
Now, one other thing to key off of that, I know you guys do a lot with charities. And you hear a lot about, people wanting to be a part of things like that. What has made you guys passionate about charities, and what kind of charities are you guys involved in?
So from a very young age and starting in the construction industry, obviously we're 32 years into it now as a family business.
That's amazing. I had no idea. That's amazing.
Yeah. My dad started Mike Scott Carpenters, I think, right before I was born, when my brother was like 1 or 2. Wow. Moved back from Houston, Texas after being a pastor out there, and kind of the economy tanked. So came back here, though, started that. And then, as the business grew and as we got involved in more things in the community, obviously, very heavily involved in our respective churches that we're all in now, whether it's in Grand Haven, Allendale, Holland, wherever our family's involved, even my sister out in California. That mindset of giving of yourself has always been ingrained in us. So with our companies now, we've got the opportunities to, because of, our skill sets and what we can do, we've had awesome opportunities. Love in Action here in Grand Haven, for instance, we've been able to do tons of projects with them, furnishing out their, building out their buildings for their assisted living and their sheltered housing programs, their resale stores. I actually got to do the design plans for the store right here on Robbins Road. So, those kind of things. So we're involved heavily locally, nationally even. There's a lot of programs that we get to partner with, Boys and Girls Club, children's hospitals, things like that, where we just have the opportunity to give because we've, God has blessed us with the companies and the people we have, the team we have, because, we recognize it weekly in our meetings. If it wasn't for our team, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Absolutely.
So, and they all share the same values and mindset on that. So we, nationally, we get to do things with a lot of organizations and, frankly, across the world through our, we have a foundation for our family that we've been able to partner with, missionaries of our local churches and do projects in China, India, Zambia, things like that.
That's awesome.
We do as much as we can here, and knowing that other countries in the world definitely don't have the wherewithal to do that. So
resources.
I think it's amazing. You guys are very much not like, yes, you guys created your own community within your own business and stuff like that, and I think that that's awesome. But then you guys are also so much within the community, and not even just in the local area, but with the charities that you guys are. Yeah, you're impacting a lot of people, and I think that that's amazing. Got one more question for you before we're done, and this is kind of like one of the more fun questions. What's your vision? what's your goals of the future, of where you want to go as an entrepreneur, as the business, as a father, as a family? Like what's your driving force of what you're doing right now to get you where you want to be?
That's a good one. As far as family and community, I'd love to get my kids as passionate about helping others as my wife and I are.
Great.
So that's one of my objectives with them. The plan for doing that still hasn't been all the way figured out because
They're just little
we
guys.
changed by the week.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I want to do there is from a business perspective. It's kind of a lot of the same, just having an upward trend of growth and establishing new relationships with our clients, within our employees themselves. We're between our companies, we're pushing close to 100 people. Wow. So just really maintaining those strong relationships within our group of, I'm going to call them my peers because most of them know more about what they're doing than I can manage them and tell them how to do it. So, basically just being there, knowing that if we work hard to provide for them, they will in turn have the attitude and mindset that they will want to work hard and give it their best. And that's really what we strive for, is just, knowing we have the responsibility to provide for the families of 50 plus families in my realm and on the build realm too. So, we just work hard to make sure that they can take care of their families, and they in turn appreciate that and want to work hard because they love what they're doing.
Well, thank you, Derek, for coming in and listening and actually sharing your story. Yeah, we appreciate that. It's been a blast. I learned a lot. I know Trevor learned a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back soon with another episode.